What's up, everybody? Answers by Guess. Friday night. We got some things going on this weekend, and then, of course, next weekend is Thanksgiving. So you might get an early edition from us from here on out. We'll see how it goes. Rob, what's going on?
What's up, guys? All right, man. Week 11. Can you believe? Did you hear what I just said? Week 11.
It's crazy.
Football's almost over. Don't get me wrong. We're at the good part, but I mean, yo. All right, guys. I want to jump right into the games, man. I'm feeling football tonight, so. All right, let's go. First game on my list here.
Real quick, I want to talk about what I watched last night.
Oh, okay. Okay, we can jump into the game last night.
Marcus Mariota, you are terrible. Like, I said Corey Davis had a good game. He had a lot of targets, but the passes were so inaccurate. Like, I was just mind blown watching that game. Could not believe how inaccurate he was throwing the ball. And they just want to continue to stick to the run. But, I mean, he threw it 33 times a game, that game. I just had to get that off my chest. Corey Davis owners, I give up. 2 weeks, he's going to they're going to play, I think, against the Cardinals. That might be your one and only shot because Patrick Peterson at this point will be guarding Rashard Matthews because Corey Davis sucks. So, I mean, actually, he doesn't suck. Mariota sucks.
Yeah, he doesn't get the ball. I mean, if you think about it, all those targets that he had, if there were better throws on there, man, he could have had a big game. And, and again, his hands and his feet ability, I mean, that's all we've been seeing, I think, from him. Whenever he does have a catch, it's like, oh, I'm going to toe the sideline,
Yeah.
So
he has no choice.
Yeah, man. All right. I agree. Yeah. And I didn't expect that from the Steelers, to be honest with you, man. Dude, AB looking like the best wide receiver in football.
We've been saying all along, Tennessee's defense is just terrible. So
we've been calling it all year, man. They sure are. All right, man. Let's go into it. Detroit at Chicago. You had a choice last week. You said, do I play Russell Wilson on Thursday night or do I go Staffy? Glad you went Staffy.
He scored like just under 5 points more.
Okay, but still, I think it was a good play. I mean, Detroit looked good, man. Golden Tate again, another touchdown. Chicago played well too last week, man. I mean, that Green Bay Chicago game was, I think, one of the more exciting games of the week. Let's talk about what you're thinking as far as players in this game. And do you see? I know you talked about Jordan Howard last week having a big game. He looked mediocre.
Yeah, he definitely did. I think the weather had a lot to do with that. In Green Bay, it was very rainy against Green Bay. So this game, it's tough. I mean, this is what's going to happen. And I see it a lot. People are watching video right now that are in these chat rooms that I'm in. I said it today. Like, people stay chasing points. So Marvin Jones had 2 really good games in a row. Everybody played him last week. He didn't do anything. And now everybody's like, oh, I got to cut him. We're like, going into last week, he was like your favorite guy in the world. So, I mean, you can't chase points. If anything, I would say play Marvin Jones this week because who is Chicago going to focus on? Golden Tate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is shaping up to be a nice Marvin Jones week. So if you're worried about last week, I would not be worried at all. It's just the way the NFL goes sometimes. You can't do really good every game, and you can't do terrible every game either. So sooner or later, the law of averages tells you it's got to average out. I like Marvin Jones in this one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Golden Tate too. This week I'm playing Russell Wilson over Stafford. We'll get to Russell Wilson later. But I'm not going to play Stafford in this game. On the road, he's better at home. Soldier Field, Chicago defense. I'm not going to test it. I mean, I called Ebron scoring a touchdown last week.
You did call that one.
Browns can't stop the tight ends.
Browns were in it, though, man. The Browns were in it. The Browns were in the game.
Well, I said that they would be. I said that, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to win. I mean, we'll get to the Browns too. They got Coleman coming back, and then Josh Gordon in a couple weeks, so we'll see. They'll win a game. But as far as this one, I mean, I'm not going to play Stafford. Yeah, he's been lights out, but here we go again. You can't ride these points and expect them to keep going. I mean, he's going to have a down week. This is just a prime spot for Stafford to have a little bit of a letdown. Tough defense on the road. I like Marvin Jones. We'll see if Ebron can keep it going. As far as Chicago goes, Inman, man.
Yeah, man.
He stepped right in, basically. I don't even know how many catches he had. 9 maybe or so? 8 or 9?
8, yeah.
We thought Trey McBride. I don't even think he sniffed the field. Maybe he got 1 catch, but I mean, it's Inman. So, you know, if you got Inman, he's going to be guarded by Slay, I would figure, this game. So temper your expectations with him a little bit, too. And you know who we missed on last week? We talked about Deion Sims. You brought him up. But I forgot about Adam Sheehan, or whatever his name is, the rookie. I forgot all about him.
And
he had a pretty good week. I think he would be somebody, if you're in a tight end pinch, maybe you have Jack Doyle on a bye this week, or you've been playing Kittle when he was not injured last week. I don't know, maybe Adam Sheehan. He's somebody you could throw out there. This game, I don't know. Personally, I hope the Bears win. It's going to help Green Bay's chances, whatever little chances they have. I think it'll be a close game, 24-21, 2017. I think it'll be a little low scoring. I don't think Stafford's going to blow up in this one like he's been doing.
All right, man. No, yeah, I could see where you're coming from. Inman definitely showed to be the guy there, man. He did end up with 6 catches, but 8 targets.
Yeah, and here's another tidbit from this. I wish I would have traded him after week 1. Tariq Cohen, man, he's going to be losing snaps to Benny Cunningham.
Cunningham's actually looking okay, man. I mean, that technically was it a touchdown?
Yeah. You know? Right. So I think it was.
Right. I mean, what did it end up calling, a fumble or something like that, knocking the cone over, or was that the week before? I mean, Cunningham's actually looking okay, man.
Happens 2 or 3 times a week now.
Yeah, it's a crazy play. All right, let's move on to the next one. Another, I don't know, weird game to me. Jacksonville at Cleveland. I mean, the way Jacksonville's been playing, you think they destroy Cleveland. Cleveland's a tougher team at home, man. Do they get the win this week? I don't know. Jacksonville's just that team that I don't know how it's going to do, to be honest with you. Their defense is stellar. I would play their defense, obviously, against the Cleveland Browns team. But their offense, is Dede Westbrook going to play? Allen Hurns is out. Do we trust Blake Bortles? And then let's look at the other side. Corey Coleman coming back. You mentioned that. Does that open it up? Kaiser throwing the ball a little bit more? Does that open up some play actions as well? I mean, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that you will probably have a pretty good week out of Mercedes Lewis. He is your top streamer at tight end this week because, A, he's playing the Browns, and they can't stop a tight end.
They just can't stop him.
That's anything else. And Allen Hurns is out, so you know the secondary is going to be focusing on Marquise Lee. Dede Westbrook, they still haven't even activated him off the IR, unless they did it within the last hour or two when I was busy doing something else. So, I mean, he probably, if he doesn't play, it's going to be Keelan Cole, who's done squat this year. Last week, Blake Bortles threw the ball like 51 times.
That's crazy, man. I mean, they have Fournette. Fournette was back. Well, is he not healthy? Is that, I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know, because also we said last week that maybe that was the reason that he got suspended, because he wasn't healthy and they wanted to hold him out. I mean, that could be. Here's the thing. Cleveland's defense, rushing defense is really good.
Yeah.
I've been saying on here for a couple weeks as well. So I would temper my expectations this week in this game with Leonard Fournette just a little bit. And he even came out, I think I read something today, he came out and said, you know, the weather up there, I don't like it. It's going to be really cold, and it will have an effect on me. What? Like,
how do you know that?
hey, you know, I'm probably going to suck again. You know, I'll blame it on the weather before it happens. That way, when it happens, that's the reason. But, can you trust Blake? Maybe. I think Mercedes Lewis is going to have another one of those weird 2 touchdown or more games. Didi, depending on how much he plays, if he plays at all, I think he might have like 2 or 3 targets, depending on how much Blake throws the ball. One of them will be a bomb, and it'll probably be a touchdown. He'll probably get 10, 11 points, but probably really won't get much volume this week because they're not – I don't know. I don't think that they are going to have to do too much. I think the Browns will win a game. I don't think it's this one.
Okay.
I think the Jacksonville defense is going to be just too good. Corey Coleman, he's going to get shut down first game back. I don't.
I mean, Ramsey going to be on him. I mean, who else do they throw to over there?
Yeah. And even not Ramsey, even if they throw him on the other side of the field and Ramsey doesn't follow him, he's AJ Bowie. So I mean,
yeah. I guess I don't know. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe just in my mind, Jacksonville's just a team that I always feel like they look like they're going to be a good team, and then it becomes disappointing all of a sudden. Yeah. So that's where I'm kind of calling that one from that perspective. So, all right. Let's go on. Oh, sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns beat them, but
yeah, I mean that defense is just too tough. How do they move the ball? Yeah, I could see that too, man. All right.
First game, just to recap: first game Marvin Jones, second game Mercedes Lewis.
Okay. I'm going to mention the bye weeks real quick. Sorry, guys. Indianapolis, New York Jets, San Francisco, Carolina. Not really playing a lot of people from the first 3 I mentioned. Carolina, a few probably. All right, let's go. Baltimore at your Green Bay. Baltimore coming off bye week, right?
They had bye week.
I apologize. Yeah, who did they play last week?
Yeah, they were on bye.
Bye, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Coming off a bye week, I don't know, man. Does Flacco, it seems a little hurt to me all the time. Does this bye week give him some, comfort? Do they actually play a good game against Green Bay? I can see kind of maybe some offense happening in this game between both teams. Let's talk about running back situations on both sides, especially with Green Bay. Who are they throwing back there? Or do we just see a big passing day from Green Bay all day long and kind of in the shotgun like Aaron Rodgers would do? Go for it.
Yeah, my top stud in this game is Joe Flacco.
Look at that. Thinking the same.
I think he's going to go off, man. That Green Bay defense, I've been saying all year, it's a sieve. It's my team. I know. They suck. They're terrible. They can't stop anybody. They were lucky to get a win last week in playing against Mitchell Trubisky. They were lucky to have that ball fumbled out of the back of the end zone. So Joe Flacco, I think he's going to have a really big game. I would fire up Macklin and Wallace in this one. If Danny Woodhead plays, I've said it all year that Green Bay can't stop the speedy pass-catching back out of the backfield. I would worry about playing Woodhead because who knows, he might get hurt on the third play.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's so injured, man. You just don't know. Is he trying to rush back too soon?
Yeah. I mean, they got 3 other running backs. A couple of them can catch passes anyways. Terrence West is back. So they got West, Collins, Allen, Woodhead. They're going to be running, throwing passes, throwing bombs to Wallace, possessions. It's going to be tough. I mean, Hundley was a little bit hurt. Now they're playing a really good defense. Jamal Williams, I put a post out. I'm a little bit worried. But I also was driving home today from work, and I'm like, you know what? Now that Ty Montgomery's out, I might throw Williams in instead of Doug Martin. And then I thought to myself, well, you've been playing Doug Martin all year. This is the week he goes off because he's playing against the soft Dolphins, the Softlins.
The Softlins.
So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I put out the post and I said I'm worried about Devontae Mays. Dude fell to the 7th round because he was hurt last year, but was a really good player his junior year. And I think he was the seal of the draft. But Aaron Jones, I thought, was better than Jamal Williams, too. Devontae Mays was number 2 on the depth chart, ahead of Williams and Jones early. And then Williams jumped ahead and went to number 2. And then Jones jumped both when Williams got hurt. So it's a mess. I don't know what Williams can do. I don't know if I'll end up playing him. If you're in a pinch, I mean, he's going to get the volume.
Yeah,
Mays hasn't played it all this year. So, I mean, how is Green Bay, they want to run the ball. How confident they're going to be throwing Mays in there this game? I don't know. I just have a sinking feeling that he's going to come out of nowhere and people are going to be like, oh, Devontae Mays, So try and be ahead of the curve just because I know how good the guy is. But I might end up playing Jamal Williams over Doug Martin. Jordy Nelson fell off the face of the earth. It's probably going to be another Cobb game.
I was going to actually say that about Cobb, man. Do you think they give him the rock? Let him maybe take a couple things from the backfield? I mean, he does have the speed. He's quick on his feet.
Probably, but he has such a injury history. They probably will, though, because Mike McCarthy's such an idiot. He probably will. Probably run him and get him hurt. I don't know. I don't like Green Bay's chances going into this one, but in all honesty, because the Baltimore offense is so bad, even though I think Joe Flacco is going to have a heck of a game, I think Justin Tucker is going to be your top kicker this week. I can see them getting about 5 or 6 field goals.
Wow, that's a big call. Yeah, I can see it too, I guess. I mean, you're right. It's Swiss cheese defense, but
I just see their defense stopping Green Bay, turning Green Bay over so often, and just moving the ball down the field without much of a problem through the air, on the ground, and just Green Bay maybe stopping them a bunch of times. I mean, what are they going to average? 10, 12 possessions, maybe? Yeah. I could easily see 3 touchdowns and 5 field goals out of Baltimore.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't touch Green Bay with a 10-foot pole this week. I don't know.
Man, I have both defenses, and I got to choose one. I'm kind of leaning Baltimore, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would probably go Baltimore too on this one, man. I don't know. They're strong.
Baltimore or who?
Or Green Bay.
Baltimore.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, to be honest with you. I'm going to agree with you, man. Baltimore is the way to go, I think. Because they're just going to have pressure on Hundley. I mean, like you called last week, he runs 15 yards back. They know how to play around that. They can get a sack back there, possibly.
Anybody could. Who could?
I guess. Yeah, it's funny. All right, let's go on to the next one, man. The game you actually the Softens or the Solfins, Tampa Bay at Miami. Bucks, Fitzpatrick playing again. They won the game against the Jets, but there was nothing special that was happening there. Sean Jackson had an okay game. Robbie Anderson with another touchdown, but obviously the Jets aren't playing this week against Miami. Miami's, I don't know, man. They always win somehow. I don't get it. Landry, though, man. I mean, he's doing pretty well, man. Landry in and out. I mean, I thought there was going to be Devontae Parker. It's still Landry over there. And the running back's playing well. Let's talk about it.
It's Parker this week.
You think so? Okay.
No. It's Parker this week. Coach called him out. Said he doesn't have the edge. Said he's playing too relaxed, like he doesn't really care. He's going to show him. Parker... And I love Mike Evans this week as well. He's going to be coming back pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
Body is back to like 100%. Dude's had 2 weeks off this year. He's ready to go. Love him. And I love Dougie. That's why I'm tossed up, because I know how bad Jamal Williams is going to be, but I'll be kicking myself if he does better than Doug Martin, because Doug Martin's been so crappy. But I don't think that I could just see Dougie breaking one. I know I say it every damn week, but the Dolphins' defense is the defense to do it against. I also love Drake, man, Kenyon Drake. I told you a couple weeks ago he was the guy they drafted. It wasn't even supposed to ever be a Ajayi when this coaching staff was in there.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, Williams, they're still splitting everything straight down the middle. It's kind of amazing how they have the same amount of touches, catches, and rushes every single game. It's almost like if it's close, like he sits the one guy to try and
give the
even
other
it up.
Time, yeah.
Really. But I like Drake better. I'd play Drake this week without any hesitation. Evans, I think Parker goes off this week. I think Cutler has a pretty good game. I think Fitzpatrick has a good game. Last week was it was just so weird.
It was weird, yeah. You thought the revenge game. We were talking about the revenge game, and
yeah,
it was such a disappointment.
I mean, Safari Jenkins did okay.
Yeah.
He didn't do great, but he did okay. I mean, coming out of nowhere is Julius Thomas, too. He's been doing pretty good lately. But you're right, Landry. I feel good about my Dolphins. I feel good about my Bucks. This one should be a high-scoring game as well.
All right. I agree, man. I can definitely see some targets still going to Humphreys, though. I don't know, man. Especially with Fitzpatrick playing over there, I feel like Humphreys is somebody else that gets a lot of love. But I could definitely see Evans too, man. All right.
Yeah, Godwin ended up doing all right. I mean, maybe they give him more burn this week.
You never know. Maybe they did play okay. I agree. All right, man. This is the game of the week for me. Los Angeles at Minnesota. This is just going to be battles of the defense. I think it's going to be a great offensive game, too. Case Keenum's like, why do you guys keep on talking about me losing my job? Did you see what I did last week? I know I threw 2 interceptions, but did you see before that? He looked great, man. I picked up Fitzpatrick instead of Keenum. Horrible. But let's go. Do you play every Ram again? I think so.
I don't know. I think this one's going to be a lot lower scoring.
Okay.
I mean, it's for some reason, and this is actually makes a lot of sense. For some reason, this is one of the highest Vegas total games. It's got the highest over-under. One of the top 2 or 3. Obviously, Oakland and New England's way up there, and Atlanta and Dallas are way up there. But this one's like the next one. And it's really weird because it's 2 of the top 3 defenses in the league playing against each other. It's also 2 pretty good offenses. But it's kind of like the defenses make the offenses. So it's going to be like which one gives. Something's got to give here. The defenses have to do terrible, or the offenses are going to not have that good of a game. I think it's the offenses are going to not have that good of a game. Going into Minnesota, Jared Goff, my man, my pick in the beginning of the year, he's been playing great. 2 ridiculous games in a row. He's like, I think I heard something like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff are like the 3 quarterbacks in history to do something in back-to-back weeks, like have some sort of ridiculous yardage and touchdown stat. But, I mean, you got Xavier Rhodes is going to be probably stopping the Robert Woods nonsense. I think there's going to be a big Cooper Kupp game. And last week I said it was his because of the trend. He has 1 good week, 2 not so good, 1 good, 2 not. I thought the bye week counted. I texted you, Rob.
You did say
bye week must not have counted last week, and he actually ended up doing okay, but it wasn't
a horrible game.
But this is going to be his week because he's just going to be on that nickel corner the whole time, and I think that Woods and Watkins will get shut down a little bit, and I really think that the defense for Minnesota is going to really key in on stopping the deep ball, and stopping Todd Gurley. I would not bench him, but I would be very cautious and try and be realistic about what I'm going to get out of him. He's a stud, top 5 without a doubt, but I don't know. And on the Minnesota side, I think Diggs is going to get shut down a little bit. I think it's going to be a Thielen game. So I see my white boy possession wide receivers, Kupp and Thielen, I think are the 2 plays in this. Latavius Murray, here's what people are going to do. They're going to be like, oh, Latavius Murray, he had a good week. You got to play him, and they're chasing stats, and he's going to suck. He's not going to do good against the defensive line of the Rams. He's just not. So it's a McKinnon game. It's a Thielen game. It's a Kupp game. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think it's 20-17.
Okay. You know what? I actually saw a highlight of the same exact score. Who takes the win though?
Minnesota.
27, and they had Minnesota too.
They're home.
Yeah, they're home.
They're at home.
Yeah, they play. Yeah.
Goff's basically a rookie. I mean,
Goff looked great, man. QB1 all the
he
way.
Is. And I love him. But that's a tough place to play, Minnesota.
Yeah. It is.
Look, this defense on the road. I mean, here's the thing. Like, the Rams have been so good, and all they've had is people tell them how good they are. and this is just get punched in your mouth, fall on your face game. It's going to be a wake-up call for them. Like, listen, this is the NFL. You know, you can't just walk around with your chin up.
Yeah, exactly.
Popped right in it, and that's. I hate Minnesota, but I think that's what's going to happen. Just because the defense is so good, they're at home, and the Rams, are walking around like it don't stink. And I think it's just, and I love the Rams, but I think that they're just going to get punched in the mouth real quick, and it'll be a little bit too much for them to handle because they haven't really had to handle that this year.
Yeah, no, yeah, it seems like I don't know, they just keep putting up points. Yeah, I agree, man. All right, let's go on to the next one. Washington at New Orleans. I saw on ESPN earlier this week, 7 wins in a row, Super Bowl contending Saints, and I'm just like, man, I think that could be true. I mean, this running game is ridiculous, and then when Drew Brees does have to throw the ball, he can. So, I mean, you call the Michael Thomas day. And then, I mean, Washington... I don't know, man. Cousins sucks. We've been saying it all along. I don't like him, man.
I was talking to somebody on this place too. They're like, Cousins lit it up. I'm like, what? He had like 307 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had a lot of fantasy points because he rushed 2 touchdowns in.
Yeah.
Well, he did not do that good as a quarterback, and he hasn't. But I think that New Orleans is going to lose this game.
Ooh.
And I think that Washington goes into the game with one purpose and one purpose only. And that is to stop the rushing attack. So I would be cautious of Kamara and Ingram this week. They've been killing it.
Destroying it, man.
Stats. They're not going to get 20 to 40 points each every single week. They're not. It's not the way the NFL goes. Now they got to play at Washington, right?
Yeah. No, they're at New Orleans.
Oh, so they're at home. Either way, now they got to play versus Washington. Washington desperate.
They are a desperate team, man. I can see that.
How do you beat the Saints right now? You make Drew Brees throw it.
Wow, do you ever think you would say that? You would want Drew Brees to throw the ball, right?
What did they do the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's true.
They threw the ball a ton, and they lost both teams.
Yeah.
And then they committed to the run. So how do you beat them? You make Drew Brees throw it. They're going to focus on stopping Kamara, stopping Ingram. They're going to say, we will let you beat us, 37-year-old Drew Brees, or however old he is. Now, don't get me wrong. Washington defense isn't great, but they're no pushover. Can they stop those two? I don't know. Can they beat the Saints? I don't know. But I do know that thinking that Ingram and Kamara are each going to get 2 touchdowns apiece and 100-plus yards apiece again is not thinking very rationally. So temper your expectations with them. I love Michael Thomas this week. And I love me some P. Ryan.
Ooh, P. Ryan. All right. Robert Kelly hurt, right?
Yeah, you know why I like him?
Why?
Because he hasn't done much. And he called in the beginning of the year. I think I read something early in the year, if my memory serves me correctly. As you can see, I'm getting a little gray in the beard here.
It's better than neck beard, dude.
Yeah. I shaved. But I remember something, and him saying, wow, man, the game is really fast, when he, in the beginning of the season, and it's going to take me a while to catch up to this. He flat out admitted it. He said, but second half of the season, I think I'll have it under control. Well, guess what? It's the second half of the season. He's finally got a chance to do it. I don't think he's going to let you down. I think, obviously, Chris Thompson's going to kill it.
That guy's
he's
really good.
I think P Ryan. I think P Ryan will have a really solid game. He was more coveted than Hunt before Spencer Ware went down.
That's a good point.
Like, he's got skills. I think he'll have a solid game. Washington, they suck. Terrell Pryor's not even playing.
Is Pryor out?
Yeah.
What a disappointment,
Pryor's
man.
out.
Last year was such a fluke.
Rudy Grant is hurt, I think. I don't know. Doxson, like, what the heck? I don't even know. Vernon Davis, like.
That's who I would go with, man. I would go with Vernon Davis, the ageless wonder, man. I agree.
Did I say that Washington would win this game?
You did.
I take that back.
Thought about it a little bit.
But I do think that they stop the run a little bit. I think Breeze throws the ball enough to beat them because they have no offense.
Gotcha.
P. Ryan and Thompson, man. It's going to be P. Ryan and Thompson and Big Baby Vern.
All right. Sounds good, man. All right.
I don't like that game.
He started off with Washington's going to win and then convinced himself out of it. I love it.
Yeah. You know what that means? That means Washington will win. You end up like anybody that gambles knows. You end up talking yourself out of bets, and then the team that you ended up wanting originally wins, and you're like, "What the heck?"
All right, let's go on to the next one, man. KC at the New York Giants. KC, man. I like everybody in this game. I think you play all your KC players. Giants, Shepard looked really, really good, man. But it's the Giants. They lost to San Fran last week. It's like, I mean, are they going to play Eli Manning? I think so. I think they're going to give him another week. But how much longer are you going to have that kind of production? I don't know, man. I'm really wary about everybody on the Giants, to be honest with you, this week. KC defense, no joke.
Here's the thing, though. I hear a lot of people, like, on the radio, ESPN, chat rooms, faculty office.
Water cooler talk.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people talking about how bad the Kansas City defense is, and I'm like, when did that happen? I mean, yeah, they've lost the past couple games, but they've had really bad offensive game plans. Like, they went away from Kareem Hunt, like, the past 3 weeks. It's really weird. I think he ended up having, like, maybe 10 carries or something, week 9. It's really strange. And I know that Reed said it had something to do with, keeping them healthy and fresh and yada, yada. I think they're going to come out of this week, and I think it's going to be a huge Kareem Hunt week. People are selling him off for penny loafers and umbrellas, not even real umbrellas. The umbrellas that you put in your drinks, they're just giving him away for nothing.
Jesus.
And I really don't understand. I think he has a big week this week, and Travis Kelce is going to go nuts. Without a doubt, they can't stop him. It's going to be Kelce and Hunt, and he'll have his 1 or 2 big plays. I wish my guy Demarcus Robinson would do something with his life, but he's just not. I'm sorry, everybody. Maybe next year. Dynasty League, throw him on the taxi squad. As far as the Giants, Ingram and Shepard, who knows? Eli could have a pretty good week this week. Actually, a buddy of mine just scored 4 tickets for this game. He asked me if I wanted to go, but I told him I got to work at Bose, so I can't make it.
Shout out to Bose.
But yeah, man, play all your Chiefs. I mean, and people are saying that the Chiefs' defense stinks, but I don't know. I just picked them up. I dropped the Chicago defense and picked up the Chiefs in one of my dynasties because I don't remember them being stinky. I think that they're probably pretty good, and they're playing against Eli. I mean, I have a better than 50-50 chance that Eli throws at least 1 or 2 interceptions or fumbles once or twice. So
what was that underhand pass thing? Do you remember? Did you see that last week? What was that?
Bowling.
He was bowling.
He He had an acid flashback. He remember the time when he was in college and
your love for Eli.
Kareem Hunt, he's the one in this game. If you're playing DFS, this is the week to pay up for him. He keeps getting cheaper and cheaper every single week on DraftKings and FanDuel and those sites. Put him in there this week. Giants rush defense. Come on, man. He's going to kill it. He's going to have – let me make a bold prediction here for Kareem Hunt. We're going to do 112 rushing yards, 78 passing yards, 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns.
Wow, bold prediction.
Rushing, 1 receiving.
Nice. Look at that. All right. Let's see if it happens, man. I mean, I agree with you. I think Kareem Hunt will have a good game. And you're right about Eli. He always plays well against these kind of teams. I don't know. He steps up to his competition. So.
Yep, and at home, Shepard's back. Shepard's catching 15 passes, or at least getting 15 thrown his way, and Ingram's awesome.
That kid has hands, man. That kid has hands. What he was doing last week, I mean, some of those catches, I'm like, geez, how the heck did he even do that? All right, let's go on to the next one, man. Arizona at Houston. This seems like a very boring game to me.
It's interesting.
What?
It's interesting, though, right?
It is. Because
this game could go one of two ways. It could be 3-0. Or it could be 36-35.
Exactly. I want to say I'm actually playing Ellington in the league this week, just because. Why not? He got a lot of targets after Will Fuller. Will Fuller's out this week.
Peterson
be doubled.
Peterson Hopkins, right?
Yeah, Peterson Hopkins. I think Ellington has a really big game, and then Arizona. Fitzgerald is he's good, man. I would play him every week.
1-year extension. Good for him.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's another ageless wonder if you think about it. I mean, that dude is just built so solid.
He's the best ageless wonder.
Yeah. Does AP have a comeback game too in this one, you think?
Who? AP? No.
You think he had his shine for the year?
Yeah, I mean, they got Gabbert going. I think Gabbert will actually do better than Stanton did.
Okay.
Which kind of sucks because I picked up the Houston defense to play and fantasize me. But I like Fitz in this one. Gabbert, it'll be interesting to see how he does. He had a really good preseason. He did pretty good last year, if I remember correctly. Who was on 49ers, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wasn't he? Double check it. I remember him being pretty good. I thought it was the 49ers, and then it was Hoyer or Barkley. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's late.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure it out right now, bro. Go, keep on going.
No, I
San Francisco.
I don't like it. Yeah, San Francisco. He did pretty good for them last year.
Yeah.
Oh, it was him, and then after him, it was Kaepernick, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
Blaine Gabbert's been there since 2014. I think you're right.
Right?
That sounds right, yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, I don't like AP. Fitz, I like him in this game. The linebackers are a little banged up. Fitz goes right over the middle. The deep ball, I don't know how accurate Gabbert can be. This is one of the games where it's a guy who was a really high draft pick that never really panned out on a bad team, Jacksonville. Was a backup, got to play last year, did pretty good, played really well in the preseason. Now he's got another shot. He comes into the game. The defense isn't really ready for him, and he lights it up. We've seen it all the time. We used to see it all the time with people like John Kitna and stuff like that. Yeah. They come out of nowhere and they just light it up. And then what happened is, bless you, next week he'll suck. People will be like, oh, okay, am I going to play Blaine Gabbert or Russell Wilson? Blaine Gabbert had 4 TDs. Like, are you out of your damn mind? But I could see him actually, doing pretty well in this game, which stinks because I love the Houston defense. But like I said in the beginning, it could go either way. This game could be 3-0. Both teams could just keep throwing it to each other like they're playing catch. So it's this one's a tough one. But I think you got Bruce Ellington, and my top play in this game is going to be CJ Fedorowicz. We called him last week. He didn't really do much,
he was
but now he's
times, though, man.
Huh?
He was targeted 6 times last week, though.
Yeah, and second game back, Peterson on Nook. Bruce Ellington's the only other receiver, no Fuller. What happened to Braxton Miller? I don't know. But anyway, CJ Fedorowicz. I love him this game. I love him.
All right. I'm happy to hear that, to be honest with you. I got him in Fantasize Me, so.
Here's my 3 favorite sleeper tight ends for the week, and not in order of how good they are. Mercedes Lewis, just because he's playing the Browns, right?
Yep.
And Mark Lee's out. Second is CJ Fedorowicz. Third is Adam Sheehan.
All right. I mean, tight end help is definitely, needed everywhere. It's just such a crapshoot with tight ends. It's either Ertz, Kelsey, Walker, I guess Cook, and then it's a guessing game, it seems like, from there, man.
Yeah. This one, other than those guys, this is a really tough one. I'm playing Hopkins.
I'm playing Miller, too, I think. You have to play Miller. It's not the same rush defense that you have here. The only reason I don't think Hopkins will have the greatest game is because, like you said, Peterson's on him.
Right. But Peterson's not shut down like he used to be.
Correct. He is a little older, man.
And Nook, he catches the ball, man. Good old Nuke. he grabbed it. Did you see some of his catches last week? It's almost like Jared Cook last year against the Cowboys for the Packers. He just gets his feet just down perfect every single time, and his hands are like glue. Love him. You remember when we were over at Leary's house and I told you that I wanted him, and it was his rookie year. I said he's like a baby Julio. You remember that? You guys were playing some music at Leary's, probably the first time we went over there. So it's got to be 4 years ago or so when Hopkins first came in the league. He's proved it, man. He is awesome.
He is. No, don't get me wrong. I agree with you 100%. I'm trying to remember the conversation. Too much drinks here and there, man. Sorry. All right, let's go with next one. Buffalo at Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Chargers handle this game pretty easily, to be honest with you. The offense won't do anything, I don't think, in Buffalo. I'm benching Benjamin. What is it, Peterman?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that was a character on Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy I think is going to be really good to play. They're going to rely on him a lot. And let's talk about Los Angeles. Is Eckler going to take over for Gordon? Think Gordon has a good game?
Yes.
I hope so.
Listen, this is how it goes, and this is how I explained it to people on the sites this week. If Eckler is getting the catches, right?
Yeah.
Then
like he's
going to outscore Gordon. But it's been, I believe it was, let me think, week 7. Gordon scored better. Week 8, Eckler did, or maybe it was the opposite. And then week 9, Gordon played better. And then week 10, or maybe not 9 because they were on a bye, but 6, 7, 8, and 10. It alternated between Gordon, Eckler, Gordon, Eckler, Gordon, Eckler. Listen, Eckler's 2 TDs last week, for anybody who watched the game, those were kind of freak broken plays. Granted, he's Danny Woodhead 2.0, and it's really easy to see that that's how the Chargers are going to use him. But you got to remember that Danny Woodhead was with, although he stunk, Ryan Matthews, right?
Yeah.
And Ryan Matthews would get his from time to time, and he would have some good games. So I would not worry. If I owned Gordon, I would be scooping Eckler. for some insurance down the stretch, especially if it's some sort of dynasty league or keeper league. If you can keep two and you're planning on keeping Gordon, you might as well keep Eckler too. Because the Chargers have proven they could use two backs and use them well and have them score. And I think that's what you're going to see here. Maybe you'll see Gordon spelled on some third downs. But the key last week was Eckler had that fumble. And after that, he never went in the game again.
Yeah.
It was Gordon the rest of the way. Unfortunately, Gordon didn't do too well. But again, they were playing against the best defense in the league. So you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt. Now they're playing against Buffalo. Defense isn't really that good, mediocre at best. They're going to have some short fields, likely. I like Nathan Peterman quite a bit. He was really good this preseason. He's got a good arm. He's taller than Tyrod. So I like Kelvin Benjamin quite a bit in this game.
Okay.
I don't think Zay Jones is playing, but I would like Deontay Thompson. He is playing, Jones?
Zay Jones is out.
Yeah, I'd like Deontay Thompson again. And McCoy, yeah, he's going to be your check down Charlie. Clay as well. But there's going to be turnovers. And because there's going to be turnovers, Chargers are going to get some short fields. And if Gordon can seize those opportunities, which you got to believe he's going to play his butt off. Because, yeah, even though they were two kind of freaky touchdowns on Eckler, he made sick moves. But, like, you know, you can't do that every single time. But Gordon knows, hey, they got somebody who's pretty good. I could lose my job a little bit. So he's going to be running hard. I play Gordon this week, and I feel very confident about Gordon. I think he has a really good game this week. I think that the Chargers have a lot of short fields, and I think Gordon takes advantage of them. You could have another game here where it's like 2 or 3 Gordon touchdowns.
All right, let's hope that, man. I need him. I need him this week.
I would like to see Mike Williams do something. I think Keenan Allen's going to have a really good week this week. I haven't said that at all this year, but I think he's going to.
Don't jinx him, man. Don't jinx him.
Trying. I really do, though. I think he's going to have a good week. I haven't said it this year. He's kind of really hasn't done much. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is everybody who drafted him as their wide receiver 1 or 2 or 3 is going to bench him this week. And I think that they'll be sorry because I think he'll do pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Buffalo defense, I mean, they just gave up, 41 points last week or something like that. And then the week before to the Jets, 30-something points.
Right.
I mean.
But even with that like goes right hand in hand with what I'm saying. You can't chase things like that in the NFL because just because the defense has done that, that means the next week they shut a team out. You know what I mean? That's just the way the NFL goes. Also, their defense gave up those points because Tyrod Taylor was playing so terrible.
Yeah, that's true. The defense was on the field a lot.
They were on the field a ton because he couldn't do anything with the ball. So,
all right, let's see what happens.
Defense, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying their defense is great. I already said they're mediocre at best, but it's not all their fault.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be better off with Peterman.
Yeah, and again, I mean, this is Phillip Rivers, man. There are some games that you're like, where the heck is he throwing that ball? And you're right. Maybe that the Bills do come through with a couple interceptions on them. All right, let's go on to the next one, man. Cincinnati at Denver. Denver got destroyed last week. You did call Sanders, though. You said out of everybody, man, he's going to have a game. He had a lot of yards, man.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, for some reason, I just don't remember that game last week. I don't know.
They're terrible. I don't understand why they're so bad.
Yeah. Oh, against the Titans. I mean, it was a close game. It was 24-20. Trying to think why I don't remember this game for some reason. Maybe it didn't catch my attention.
The only thing that happened was
big A.J. Green touchdown? Yes, I remember that one, but...
Mixon had one, I believe.
Gotcha.
But I don't understand why Cincy's so bad.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a boring game, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's call some players, though.
I like Mixon again.
Okay.
It's going to be tough for A.J. Green going in your no-fly zone there.
Yeah.
Could be a good game for Tyler Croft here. Maybe he's already owned though, so he doesn't really count as a sleeper tight end streamer. But
yeah. Maybe Brandon LaFell, man. You're right. Maybe he could have a good game because he's been catching the ball. They've been targeting him too, man. So this could be if it's not Croft, then maybe Brandon LaFell.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but this one, I mean, I can see Manny doing his thing again.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Do we go on to the next one, I guess?
Yeah. No, this game, it's just because, like, I feel like Brock Osweiler should be better. I mean, I don't think he played really terrible last week, but he wasn't good. And it's going to be Lynch. He already moved up to number 2, so maybe we see Paxton Lynch this week.
Okay. Yeah,
That'd be
what he could do. Might as well. I mean, what do you got to lose?
Right. Yeah, Manny and Croft.
All right,
That's
cool.
all I like in this one. Maybe a little Mixon.
And Mixon. All right. Let's go on to the next one. New England at Oakland. New England's, they're looking like that team again, man. Being a Jets fan, it's very difficult to see New England starting to get on a stride, especially during the good part of the year. I don't know. I feel like they always have a lighter schedule. Obviously, they're playing in the AFCs, but, I mean, Tom Brady looks good. He can throw the ball to anybody. All the backs are getting... Rex Burkhead got love last week. Say again?
You called it.
Yeah, you did. He's
You said exactly what would happen last week.
Yeah, he
It'd
called
be
it.
and rushes. I said it'd be Burkhead, it'd be White, it'd be Lewis, and maybe a little bit of Gronk. And what'd you get?
Everything.
Burkhead, White, Lewis, a little bit of Gronk.
Yep.
You all know what's going to happen this week? Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
He's going to go off. He might have 200 yards receiving.
Ooh, another bold prediction.
I think he might. He might have 200 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. The Patriots are the ultimate NFL team. I keep talking about this week, and I hope people really do watch this week, because this is how you got to learn to play fantasy. They're the ultimate NFL team. Just when you think something's going to happen, be prepared for the opposite, because that's what New England does. Like, they haven't used Cooks in how long? He goes off this week. That Oakland defense is an absolute sieve. I've been telling people for weeks. This game is going to be ridiculously high scoring. If you got Derek Carr, play him. Amari Cooper's going to kill it this week. Play him. Michael Crabtree, play him. The Patriots defense has been playing much better. But the one thing that you have to keep in mind is that Oakland's going to always be playing from behind in this one. So they're going to be throwing the ball quite a bit. You will not see much Marshawn Lynch. I wouldn't touch him with a 30-foot pole. I don't want anything to do with him. You can't play Washington and Richard because they cancel each other out. Jared Cook, Michael Crabtree, Amari Cooper, all of them have good games. I think Amari Cooper has the best. Brandon Cooks, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kills it this week. Kills it. Man. I just know it's coming. I know it's coming. And you have to know it's coming too.
No, you're right. I mean, Cook did have some yardage, I want to say, last week. But yeah, I can see a bold prediction going there. I do like your call, though, on Cooper. I think it's going to be his week. I agree with that. Especially being behind, they're just going to be chucking the ball up to him.
And it's a night game. When was the only other time that he went off? Not a night game.
No, it's an afternoon 4:25er.
Oh, I thought that was a night game.
No,
well, it'll be
the
dark
night game
out.
is the game that I want to talk about, though.
Oh, Atlanta, Dallas.
Philly, Dallas.
Philly, Dallas, and then the other one is Atlanta, Seattle. That's right.
Correct, yep.
Why didn't they put the Raiders and the Patriots in the night game? What? Even Riley's mad that they didn't do that.
I think this is going to be a better game, to be honest with you, man. I don't know. For some reason, obviously, Dallas did not look good last week. No, I guess Zeke makes that big of a difference, man, to be honest with you. I see this being a high-scoring game. I really think, don't get me wrong, the defenses are going to play well, but I can see everybody going off. I can see Dez. I can see Even Beasley getting some love in this one. On the other side, Ertz having a huge game. Jeffrey's getting some love on this one. And Aguilar coming back. I think this is going to be like a 37-34 kind of game, man. Wentz going off
I mean,
and winning it.
Yeah, it's that way. NFC East battle. I own quite a bit shares of the Eagles. So I don't know why, but I got a really bad feeling that the bye week cooled them off.
Ooh.
They've been hot and rolling.
Don't you say that, man. Don't you say that. I need them.
One. And now they have to play their rival. They had 2 weeks to prepare for them, but the flame has died out, and it makes me nervous. Alshon Jeffrey a little bit hurt. Carson Wentz, although he's a much better player this year, was terrible the second half of the year last year after their bye. I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Ertz practicing in full. I need him. But you got to think that Dallas is going to be, keying in on him quite a bit. I think Aguilar has a really big game in this one. I also like Ajayi in this one because I think that they're going to try and run the ball quite a bit in this. I don't think the Eagles, if I'm correct, are going to come out in this game and keep doing what their offense has been doing the first 9 weeks of the season that they played. I think that they come out and try to establish the run a little bit, get Ajayi going early and often, and then sprinkle in some play action, some bootlegs, a couple deep balls. But I think that they try and go a little conservative in this because I think they know that Dallas is a little desperate. Maybe this isn't what they're thinking, but if they were smart, they do it because if they come out and try and, drive that dagger into the heart of the Dallas Cowboys, it could backfire because Dallas, they're going to be ready for this one because just like you said, Dez, Beasley, the trio of running backs, Witten, maybe some Butler. I like the offense in this one too because the Eagles' secondary is a little banged up. They haven't been great. It's an NFC matchup. I can see a 34-31.
Okay.
But I could also see that Dallas win this game by 10 or so.
Interesting.
And kind of shutting down Philly, and it really makes me nervous.
Dallas is at home. They tend to play better at home, man.
Yeah, well, we've seen this before. You see this a lot of times where teams are really hot going into the bye, and then they have the bye, and they come out and they're a little flat.
Yeah.
So I'm worried. I'll be interested. I hope I'm wrong on this one. I really do. I just have a really bad feeling, and I don't know if it's me just being pessimistic because I have Ertz, I have Elliott, I got Wentz in the league. That's just the way I feel.
All right.
I think Aguilar and Ajayi are the best plays for the Eagles. Obviously, you're not sitting Ertz. And you're probably not sitting Jeffrey, even though he's hurt. How do you get hurt in a bye week?
He said he's been dealing with an ankle injury. I would think that you'd be healing up, but yeah, for that to happen midweek always has to make you nervous. I think I got Jeffrey in 4 out of my 5 leagues, so I wasn't happy to see that, to be honest with you. I'm going to call a sleeper on this one, man. I want your opinion real quick on it. I think Rod Smith takes over as far as the running back position this week.
Why not?
I think, honestly, he's going to be the little dunk and dive. He's going to save Dak a couple times. And
I said that before, didn't I?
Say again?
Didn't I say that? Rod Smith would be the guy?
Yeah, you did call it. So I guess I'm reinforcing what you're saying. I think he's going to be the sleeper of the week. Alfred Morris, is not going to get the same kind of love. I could see Rod Smith kind of taking over since Elliott now isn't. There's no appeal anymore. He's out. That's it. 6-game suspension.
I could see that too, but I could see also if they get down to the 1, Alfred Morris punching it in.
I would even think Dak would punch it in. He loves to run, so I think I like that. But I guess he's a bigger back, Alfred Morris, so you got to give him a shot, right?
Yeah, it just sucks. McFadden's done.
Yeah, he had that good year, man, behind him.
Oh.
And then, yeah, I don't know, man. All right, let's go on to the Monday Nighter. Atlanta at Seattle. Atlanta beat up on the Cowboys last week. Freeman out. You think this is going to be throwing the ball? Could this be a repeat
of Ryan with the right, Russell Wilson with the left? Touchdowns.
This is going to be a Houston Texans Seattle game, you think? I agree with it, to be honest with you. Freeman out, Tevin Coleman having a big game, and then everybody on Seattle. So go for it.
Yeah, you got Richard Sherman hurt. Julio is going to have a huge game. Austin Hooper, I called him last week. I'm going to call him again. He's going to have a good game. He's just picking up steam. I shouldn't have dropped him in the Dynasty League for Chris Godwin. I let Herm get him, that jerk. I've been calling him all along. I've been calling for 2 years, and I drop him in one of my Dynasty Leagues like a damn fool. Yeah, he's going to do it. I even like Sanu this week, and I don't even like Sanu. I like Gabriel this week. This game is going to be 41-38.
Nice.
Last team to score wins.
Ooh, okay.
Food out all over. Two good defenses that don't play good defense. Two very sickening offenses that love to throw the ball all over. Coleman is going to be catching passes. Both of these teams might just abandon the run. It's going to be McKissick catching a ton of passes, Coleman catching a ton of passes, Jimmy, and then it's going to be Hooper, and then it's going to be Baldwin, and then it's going to be Richardson, and it's going to be Lockett, and it's going to be Darbo, and it's going to be Gabriel, New, and Julio, and everybody's going to get involved. They're going to spread it all around. It's going to be ridiculously fun to watch. They will score close to 80 points in this game. That's my prediction. This one's going to be off the chains, off the chart, off the hook, off the rip, whatever you want to say, whatever the kids are saying these days.
I'm going to go with off the rip. Yeah, man. I'm really hoping. Yeah, I agree. The only person you didn't mention was Luke Wilson. So
yeah, he sucks.
So yeah, let's go from there, man. I agree with you. Everybody you play in this game. Will it be one of those Monday night matchups that it's not to forget? You know.
Yeah, well, now that it's gonna be 13-7. Part of my mouth.
Oops. All right, guys. Answers by guests. Do you want to do any little recap? What do you want to do, man?
Eagles, please do not think you're going to have from your bye week. Seahawks, Falcons, please do not go against what I said because I need those points so badly. And lastly, the Packers. Please don't bring Aaron Rodgers back this year. Just let him get healthy.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah.
All right,
guys. Not going anywhere. Your defense is not good enough.
I got you, man. All right,
everyone's hurt on your team.
Week 11, guys. Crazy to say already. Again, bye weeks: Indianapolis, New York Jets, San Francisco, and Carolina. Yeah, let's go. Happy fantasy.
Here's the last thing. One last thing. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. I'm not sure, but if you did, thank you. If you go on the webpage, the Facebook page, and you ask me questions on Sunday and I don't get back to you right away, don't get scared. I will try and answer all the questions by noon. So please try and get your questions into me before noon on Sunday. I'll be answering them all day tomorrow as well.
All right, guys. Answers by guess. Thank you, guess.
See you guys.